there are situations when I was working with the smaller children, and then we got to the point where we would discourage from hugging and things like that because of the possibility of someone mischaracterizing what what your intentions were. However, there were times that I would take the risk of hugging, but I would almost always try to give a human touch, even if it was putting my hands on somebody's shoulder, or on their head, or even with my friend when she no longer could speak to me, and I touched her forehead with my hand, because in my mind I knew that many older people do not even get touched except with someone with gloves on. So as each generation moves into from being the child, the young adult, the older adult, then I think that we still need to share more. There were things that I wish I had known about my parents. Let's say, for example, when they lost their siblings, when they lost their parents, when they lost their best friends, I didn't know to tell them, I'm sorry for what you're going through. I didn't know to express my sympathy for them just as fellow human beings for their losses. They were the older people, and whatever, a lot of older people are always dying. And so, they were going to a lot of funerals. So I'm just saying this, that as having moved into that position myself, I see how valuable it would be sometime, to have someone younger to acknowledge and understand that you losing your friends, people you've known for, 50 years, whatever, is really, it's a big deal. But people get through it, and also seeing people be in situations where, as some of my older friends were not able to make the decisions that they wanted to make for their lives. And sometimes the mind has various, what I call, what compartments, although that's not quite correct, but that's just the way I can characterize it right now, meaning that you have memory, and you have concentration, you have decision-making, you have self-discipline, self-control, and things like that. So sometimes one of those areas is showing a decline, and it does not mean that all of those areas are showing the decline. So sometimes the persons that are helping, caring for those people would sometimes see one area declining and assume that the person now needs total control over their lives from somebody external to them, and also they're not included in the things that they actually could be included in terms of making decisions. So if the person, their memory is poor, their concentration is poor, that doesn't mean that some other aspects of their mind is not still, working 100%, or it does not even mean that they couldn't share memories or lessons learned and things like that. So that would be one other thing that probably between the generations would be valuable to just come to a balance when that time comes where the younger generation has to take on more of the responsibilities and even the decision making, that they acknowledge some of those things. Final thing I guess I would like to pass on to the younger generation would be, when you're making decisions in your life, I think the regrets that you will have, or that you may have, will be more of the things that you actually knew better and that you just pushed aside and just did anyway, rather than those things that you did in error. So I would just like to share, just from looking back at this point, that if there's something that really is on your mind that you should be doing, then do it, and try not to put it off, because you can look up very well and so large chunks of life could have fallen away, and those times you won't be able to retrieve. So go with what you believe that's best for you. Take responsibility for the decisions that you make. Be honest with yourself. Acknowledge when you have made mistakes, and if at all possible, if your mistakes negatively impact somebody else's life, then try to seek forgiveness and even correction if possible. But if correction isn't possible, then at least to acknowledge that. And with the information, try to approach it with a discerning of mind, and know that facts can be used to bring about a false conclusion. So just be very careful and consider that there is much that you can know, very much that you can know, but consider that there are many things, many things that we accept in life that we actually don't know. We have to guess or seek from someone, and even those people are sometimes guessing because they are doing the best that they can with the information they have, and each person carries with them what they have experienced. So you may have a person that was not given the attention that they wanted to have as a child. That person may get into a position of leadership. They may do things, say things, or even give information that they are not even really sure of, just to show that they are in a position of leadership. I'm getting this attention, and I'm just going to say this and give this information regardless. So just understand that people, no matter what positions they achieve, they are still living out their whole life's history, also their childhood experiences, the positive as well as the negative. And also, you are doing the same thing. So your experiences, and also if you have children that are coming up under you, be very deliberate in what you're exposing them to, because even the cartoons are expressing values and expressing things that even things that they want children to eventually participate in and to purchase. So I appreciate being able to share some of these things from my life experience and from the experience of other persons that I've come in contact with on a professional level, on a personal level, and I hope that we can bind together and not accept that there's any division between generations, but it's a continuum. And I sincerely believe that because no one can live to see the end of what it is that they may be able to put in place. I sincerely believe that it is actually the obligation upon the older and the younger to communicate, to pass on. And I have been focusing on older and younger, but I want to make sure that it's clear that it's whoever has the experience also. So you could be 20 years younger than I. If you have driven down a particular highway, a particular street, and you know where the detour or you know where the pothole is or whatever, then that information can be passed on and should be passed on regardless of age. So it's respecting the experience and respecting the information, but again, not overly focusing on age, but focusing on mutual respect for whatever it is that each person is bringing to the table. So thank you very much, and blessings to all, health and wealth.